And we're back. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities podcast. My name is Jay, coming to you live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I really want to talk about some topics that I know you're going to want to hear about. Today, we're going to talk about the saving of some of these junk fees. And I talk about these junk fees, these admin fees. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And there's some really, really underhanded things that I'm seeing, unfortunately, by some dealerships, not all dealerships. And then also talking about sales tax credits. I don't think that most people have a great understanding about that. And we're going to do that right now.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride while buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay, and this is the podcast to tell you what to watch out for, whether you are buying, selling, or repairing your car. With over 26 years of automotive experience, we are the Auto Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent.com. We're real estate agents for cars.
Boom. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities podcast. My name is Jay, coming to you live. If you are just joining us, we are talking about saving on some of those junk fees that not all dealers, but some dealers are charging out the wazoo. Also, talking about sales tax, like how to understand sales tax and the sales tax credits that you may be entitled to that you don't even know about. And we're going to talk about private owner sales. Some of these topics have been brought to my attention, and I'm thinking that you guys know exactly what to do. But the real truth is that there's a lot of questions that people have. But before we get going, I want to thank our sponsor, iAutoAgent.com. That's iAutoAgent.com, where the I stands for integrity. iAutoAgent.com are real estate agents for people's cars. They make it so easy for you to sell your car where you never have to meet a strange person ever again. They will market, they will list, they will show your car at no cost to you and even handle that sticky money transaction. And when you're ready to buy your car, they will handle finding that car for you nationwide. Not only will they find it for you, but they will handle the vetting of the vehicle, vetting of the dealership or private owner, take care of all the communications with working with the dealership, where you're just literally going in and picking up the car. How about that? Now, if you are wanting to watch us live, go to the Facebook group page, the Auto Authorities podcast, and click join group button. If you still want to watch us but can't watch us live, you go to the Auto Authorities. It's a YouTube page, and you can watch us recorded. And if you just want to listen to us on the way to work or anywhere for that matter, go to the autoauthorities.com and you can download any of our podcasts from iTunes to Pandora to Google Podcasts. We're on 19 different channels worldwide. We've been coming to you live for right under 2 years now, every single week. This is raw and uncut. It's not planned. And I'm going to teach you today some very, very valuable things on how to really navigate this, buying and selling cars. I want to talk about the first part is selling a car as a private owner. Now, people think, and the reason why we're talking about this is a question that was really brought up to me. And most people don't know how to properly sell a car when you are a private owner. When you are a private owner and you have a lien on your car, meaning you owe money on a car, it is a very, very tricky situation because now in Missouri, we're a title holding state. So that means we hold the title when we buy a car, even if the car is not paid off, which is a little scary sometimes because people don't know to look on that title to make sure that there is no lien on the title. If there is a lien on the title, you will not be able to register that vehicle when you buy the car. And if you're planning on going and throwing your vehicle on Facebook and think that someone's just going to buy your car, you may have another thing coming to you. Now, I'm going to help you, private owners. If you don't call iAuto Agent and you don't sell your car with iAuto Agent, that's okay. I'm going to teach you on how to do it the right way when it comes to selling a car privately. Number one, let's say you have somebody that wants to buy your car. The best thing you can do is if you can meet them at your bank, they can pay off that vehicle right in front of you with their funds. And that lien release should be directed to the people that bought your car. Now, sometimes you have liens in other parts of the country, like bigger banks like Ally and Wells Fargo. They may not have a local branch. So, what happens in that sense is it's very important for you to at least get on a three-way phone call with the person that's selling the car if you're buying it. Talk to somebody at Wells Fargo, figure out how they want to receive funds, and make sure that lien release comes to you, the new buyer. Because if you don't do that, you may be in very big trouble. There's nothing worse than buying a car and you can't legally register it. So think about that. If you're selling a car privately, it's very complicated. If you sell it through iAuto Agent, there's no cost to from iAuto Agent, and they will handle all that sticky paperwork for you. So that's the first part that I want to cover. Also, I had a situation that came to me where this lady lost her husband and she wanted to sell his car. Now, if there is not a transfer on death on that title, you will not be able to sell that car, meaning transfer on death to the to the to the spouse, the living spouse. So if your late husband or wife is on that title, that vehicle's going to have to go through probate unless you have a trust or a document that directs that vehicle to a particular individual upon death. Unfortunately, this lady lost her husband very, very quickly, and there was still a lien on the vehicle, and it happened to be in his name only, which is a good thing in this situation because her name was not on the title and they owed $9,000 more than what the vehicle was worth. So technically, they can just call the bank and have the bank take that vehicle back, and they are scot free. But if her name was on that title with his, this would be a situation where she would have to come up with $9,000 to sell that vehicle. And as the market is dropping right now, we're going to see vehicles where people are in inequity situations, meaning they owe more money on the vehicle than what it's worth because they may have bought that vehicle in the peak season and now things are finally starting to come back to normal. So let's talk about the next thing. And this is something that I thought that most people knew about, but they don't. And that's sales tax credits. In Missouri, if you were to sell a car and buy a car within 180 days, you will actually get credit for that car you sold for with the car you bought. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you buy a $20,000 car today, and last week you sold a $10,000 car. You would pay sales tax on the 10,000, not the 20,000 in Missouri. And I will tell you this again, I thought that people knew about this. I've been talking to people left and right. Most people have no idea. I just helped a lady the other day. She had bought a car and she had a vehicle that needed some TLC. And I told her, when you sell that vehicle, even though you've already paid sales tax on the vehicle you bought, you can get a credit back by filling out a form. It's called Form 426 in the state of Missouri. Now, the truth is Missouri is one of several states that does that, but not all states do that. So if you live in California or Hawaii or Kentucky or Maryland or Michigan or Montana or Virginia, you're paying the sales tax rate on the full value of the vehicle. And I remember I used to live in California for a little while, and I have a background also in exotic cars. And when you sell a Ferrari for $300,000 and you're trading in a Ferrari for $150,000, you're paying sales tax on the $300,000. And that is, it hits pretty hard. So it also works too. So let's say, so if you paid sales tax already on a vehicle, as long as you sell that vehicle within 180 days of that, yeah, you can get that money back. So let's not give our wonderful state of misery. If you live in Missouri, did I say misery? I sure did. Um, let's get that money back in your pocket. So next, I want to talk about dealer fees, and I get all the notices when dealers change their program, and it's really not the dealers. The culprit is the state of Missouri. Now, this is just Missouri, but just to catch you up to date, most of the processing fees were $199 for a long, long time. We refuse at iAuto Agent to charge any type of dealer fees, but most places do charge fees. Now, with that being said, the state of Missouri increased the maximum amount of fees to be charged a few years ago to $500. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that when you buy a car and you see the car listed, you are not going to just pay that price. You're also going to pay a processing fee, and we're going to talk more about junk fees here in a second. Now, guess what? They're increasing the fee now to $565.38. So that wasn't enough. Here is why. And if you're sitting down, that's good, because you might fall out of your seat when I tell you this. The dealers are allowed to charge up into that amount, mandated by the state of Missouri, because Missouri gets 10% of that. Why do they get 10% of that? Oh, well, they're installing new systems, so they're going to allow dealers to charge higher fees to you. Now, you've heard me say this before. I don't think profit is a bad word. I just think unfair is. And now it's $565.38 is what they can charge on a dealer fee. But as we get into more information today, I'm going to be talking about not just dealer fees, but I'm going to talk about real junk fees. So the state of Missouri has made a partnership with dealers that they're going to take 10% of that fee. But if you think about it, the dealers used to be able to charge $199, and of course, the state never took any money of that. Now they can charge up to $565, so they're going to take $56 and some change. The dealers are still making, after they have to pay their fee to the state, they're making about $500. So they're making $300 per car more now than it was before. So I don't know. I don't really like it. But the main reason why I wanted to tell you that is when you are looking at cars online, the price that you see is probably not the price you're going to pay. And if you're just tuning in, what I'd love you to do is number one, we're broadcasting live on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. on the Facebook group page. It's called the Auto Authorities Podcast. You can click the join group button. We even have a messenger. So like if you have any questions, like mechanical questions, you can join that messenger and there's experts on that messenger, not just me, but other people are on that messenger as well. Also, you can watch us on YouTube, the Auto Authorities YouTube page. And you can click the subscribe button and the notification button in the right-hand corner, and you can be notified for all of our YouTube broadcasts. And if you want to listen to us, go to theautoauthorities.com. That's theautoauthorities.com. Not only can you send us messages, but you also can watch or listen to iTunes. You can listen to Pandora, Google Podcasts, everything. And we've been coming to you live for 2 years. And what I'd love you to do is I'd love you to comment below and leave a story about maybe it's something about a dealer fee that you paid. Maybe it's a private owner question, whatever it is, because today we're talking about sales tax credits, we're talking about junk fees, and we're talking about private owners. If you're trying to sell your car private owner and the things you should really know. Also, last but not least, please share this with your friends and family. The reason why I do this every week is because I want to come to you raw and uncut and give you the real information, not the crap that you see on the internet, the real information. So let's go to the next piece, and I'm going to talk more about what we're seeing out there. So we have a vehicle finder program at iautoagent.com. It's nationwide. People hire us, they trust us to find that perfect vehicle. And part of our process is not just vetting the dealer's reputation and making sure they're a reputable dealer, because there's a lot of reputable dealers. It's about really getting down to the nitty gritty. One of the things that takes so long when you go to the dealer and you're sitting there for 4 to 7 hours is you're bombarded with all these fees at the end, and you're like, wait, what? I didn't know about it. And there's ways that some of the dealers can get away with these fees legally, but I want to tell you about there's a couple companies out there, and one of them is Shift, and it drives me absolutely crazy because their cars are showing up um, higher than any other cars because it looks like that they're charging less money for their cars, and that's what it shows up in the search engines, and that's why they do it. Now, when you add all their fees, they're much higher, and I'm talking about more than $1,000 worth of fees a lot of times. And some dealers are out there, they're throwing like we had a client come to us and she was so frustrated with this dealer because she wanted to pay cash and there was $1,000 financing rebate. I am as close to my name as being Jay that there is no such thing as a financing rebate. It is something that dealers do. And so they had to pay $1,000 more. But to take it a step further, they had other junk fees. They had window etching, and we clean your seats with a special potion to keep them from getting dirty. It comes with a 5-year warranty, blah, 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 blah. Well, this is happening a lot. And some of the dealers are trying to recover their losses by charging these exorbitant fees. Companies like Carvana, and they want to sell that vehicle and then they want to sell you a bunch of crap afterwards. It's just not right to do. And I want to tell you a story about we had a BMW i8 that one of our clients hired us for a vehicle finder program. And this is how this deal went down. We found a 2016 BMW i8, pretty rare car. There's not a lot of them out there. We found one in Washington, the state of Washington. It was right on the borderline of Canada. And this salesperson, because we couldn't get to the manager, so we had to talk to the salesperson, just absolutely dicked us around for days, not hours, days. And we were very clear with them that not only did we want to do a pre-purchase inspection, which they said that was fine, but we wanted to find out what fees they charge. Now, I'm going to give you a golden nugget on how to do this. And this is how we protected our client from this horrible, horrible dealership that we were dealing with. Number one, you always ask for everything in writing. So you ask for a buyer's order in writing with an out the door price with all the fees. So he told us on the phone that they had $375 worth of fees. Now, granted, we don't like that. Granted, but most dealers charge those extra fees. Now, for the fun part, they charged over $1,000 in other fees and did not say one word about it. Can you imagine if we would have flown all the way to Washington to find out that they had a lot of other fees? And they know they got you. You know, we also can arrange transportation for our clients, but the bottom line is there was over $1,000 worth of fees. Then that became a negotiating point. Then we had to figure that out. And this guy just dilly-dallied around. He wasn't getting back to our agent, Rich. One of our agents, Rich, was working on this. He was not calling him back. You know why he wasn't? Because we called him out on their, excuse my French, bullshit. And it just became a pissing match. Well, the really, really cool thing is while all this was going on, one of our trusted dealers here in St. Louis had the exact same vehicle, but with lower miles and a better price. And they didn't have the junk fees that this dealer did. And it's just a beautiful story because we were able to now provide this amazing BMW i8 to this young entrepreneur. And now, like, it was freaking awesome. But I can't imagine just being a private buyer, just randomly going to these dealerships. They're taking advantage of people, and that's not right. It's just not right. So, if you're listening to this and you have a horror story, let me listen to it. In fact, if you have any questions, we've had people that contact us and we'll respond. Like, you'll get this guy right here responding because I like to wear the cape. And when I put my cape on, it's about doing what's right for the consumer. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed that. Today we talked about if you're a private owner, just know what you're going to run into if you have a lien on the vehicle that you're selling. And even if you're selling it for cash, or I'm sorry, you had already paid off the vehicle, there could still be a lien on that vehicle written. And if you don't give that lien release to the buyer, you're going to have yourself a real fiasco. The second thing that we talked about was we talked about sales tax credits and really understanding how to get that sales tax credit, get that money in your pocket that's yours. And we talked about junk fees and how to avoid junk fees. So I want to thank everybody for listening today. It's been an incredible show. Again, please leave your comments below. Share this with your friends and family. Send us a message at theautoauthorities.com. My name's Jay with the Auto Authorities Podcast. I will see you next time.